Most men over 60 have already lost it. Not their minds, their biological edge. Right now, statistically, you're losing muscle mass at about 3 to 8% per decade after 50. Your testosterone has dropped somewhere between 20 and 30% from where it was at 30. And here's the part nobody talks about. 73% of men your age cannot pass a basic functional fitness assessment that your grandfather's generation did without thinking. That's not motivation speak. That's what the data shows. But there's a smaller group, about 5% of men over 60. These men still have something most of their peers have completely abandoned. They still have biological resilience. Their bodies still respond. Their systems still work. And I'm not talking about guys running marathons or bench pressing 300 pounds. I'm talking about men who understand something critical. Your body sends signals. All the time. You're either reading those signals or you're ignoring them. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 biological markers that separate men who are aging like they're in their 40s from men who are aging like they're in their 70s. These are the same markers that functional medicine doctors use to calculate your real age. Not your birthday age, your biological age. And if you can still do all 5 of these, your body is functioning like a man 10 to 15 years younger. Most men your age can't do 3. Let's start with grip strength. I know that sounds simple, too simple. But grip strength is one of the most predictive markers of longevity and overall health that exists in medical literature. It's not because your hands matter. It's because your grip is a direct reflection of your systemic muscle mass, your nervous system efficiency, and your metabolic health. When you grip something with force, multiple systems are firing simultaneously. Your nervous system is recruiting muscle fibers. Your mitochondria are generating ATP. Your hormonal system is responding. A man over 60 with a healthy grip should be able to sustain a squeeze of at least 90 to 100 pounds on a dynamometer. If you've never measured this, find a gym with a grip dynamometer or order one online for $30. Most men your age will hit 60 to 70 pounds. If you're below 50, you're in the lower 30% for your age group. And that's not judgment, that's data. Here's what grip strength actually predicts. Cardiovascular event risk, all-cause mortality, cognitive decline, and fall risk. When grip strength drops below a certain threshold, it's correlated with a 4-year acceleration in perceived biological aging. The mechanism is simple. Grip strength reflects muscle quality, not just size. And muscle quality requires adequate protein intake, sustained resistant stimulus, and hormonal health. Most men over 60 have stopped gripping anything with real force. They're not lifting heavy. They're not training their nervous system. Their hands have become ornamental. To maintain or rebuild grip strength, you need resistance training that includes loaded carries, dead hangs, and actual heavy gripping work. 2 or 3 times per week, 10 minutes. That's the minimum dose. Farmers' carries with heavy dumbbells. Dead hangs from a pull-up bar for time. Plate pinches. These aren't optional. They're maintenance. Your grip is your biological signature. The second marker is post-exertional heart rate recovery. This one matters more than your resting heart rate. Everyone's obsessed with resting heart rate, 60 beats per minute, 70, 80. But resting heart rate doesn't tell you how well your cardiovascular system actually works. Heart rate recovery does. Here's the test. You perform a sub-maximal effort, a brisk walk, a flight of stairs, a few minutes of moderate intensity. Then you sit down and measure how many beats per minute your heart rate drops in the first 60 seconds of rest. A man over 60 with a healthy cardiovascular system should see his heart rate drop by at least 12 to 15 beats per minute in that first minute of recovery. If you're dropping only 4 to 6 beats, your autonomic nervous system is dysregulated. Your parasympathetic nervous system, the one that's supposed to calm your body down, is not responding properly. This predicts metabolic dysfunction, increased inflammation, and accelerated aging of the arterial system. The reason this matters is that heart rate recovery is controlled by the vagus nerve and your parasympathetic response. It's not about how hard you can push. It's about how well your body can recover. Most men your age have parasympathetic dysregulation. They've spent 20 years in sympathetic dominance, stressed, never truly recovering. Their bodies have forgotten how to shift into rest mode efficiently. Your autonomic nervous system is trainable. Cold water immersion improves vagal tone. So does breath work. Specifically, extended exhale protocols where your exhale is twice as long as your inhale. Box breathing. 4 count in, 4 count hold, 6 or 8 count out, 5 minutes daily. Within 3 weeks, most men notice their heart rate recovery improving. This is not fringe science. It's measurable, reproducible, and it directly correlates with longevity. The third marker is the one that surprises people because it seems trivial. It's the ability to rise from a seated position on the floor without using your hands. This test is called the sitting rising test, or SRT. It predicts mortality better than VO2 max. I'll say that again. The ability to stand up from the floor without pushing off predicts how long you're going to live better than your cardiovascular fitness. The reason is anatomical and neurological. To rise from the floor without arm assistance, you need hamstring flexibility, ankle mobility, quad strength, hip stability, core strength, and balance control. If you're missing any of these, your central nervous system has to compensate. Most men over 60 have lost this movement pattern completely. They've spent decades in chairs. Their hips are locked, their ankles are stiff, their quads have atrophied. When they need to get up from the floor, they grab, they push, they use their arms. This single movement loss predicts falls, spinal compression, mobility restrictions, and cognitive decline. The correlation is that specific. If you can stand from the floor without arm assistance with reasonable control, your neurological integration is intact. Your proprioception works. Your muscles are responsive. Your aging trajectory is significantly healthier than the 90% of men your age who cannot do this. The solution is consistent practice, not extreme stretching. Consistent movement through ranges. Sit on the floor. Practice getting up. Do this every single day. It takes 90 seconds. Within 2 weeks, you'll notice improvement. Within a month, many men can accomplish this who couldn't before. It's not about flexibility. It's about establishing the neurological pattern and rebuilding the muscle memory your body has abandoned. The fourth marker is something nobody measures but should. It's latency to morning erection. This is where men get squeamish. This is also where the data gets very clear. A consistent morning erection is a direct indicator of healthy testosterone levels, healthy blood vessel function, healthy neurological response, and healthy sleep architecture. When morning erections become infrequent or absent, it's almost always correlated with one or more of the following: inadequate sleep, poor sleep quality, low testosterone, arterial dysfunction, or neurological dysregulation. A man over 60 with healthy sexual function should experience morning erections 4 to 5 times per week minimum. If you're experiencing them once a week or less, your endocrine and vascular systems are not functioning optimally. This isn't about performance. This is about health. Your erectile tissue is the most sensitive indicator of arterial health in your body. Erectile dysfunction is almost always an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease or metabolic dysfunction. The factors that improve this marker are straightforward. Sleep quality. Non-negotiable. 7 to 9 hours. Temperature control in your bedroom. 50 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Darkness. Blackout curtains. No screens after 8 p.m. Testosterone optimization. This means adequate protein, adequate zinc intake, adequate strength training, and adequate sleep. Most men are deficient in zinc. Most men are not training their lower body with intensity. Most men are not sleeping. These are controllable variables. This marker is your early warning system for your cardiovascular and endocrine health. The fifth marker is night vision and visual acuity in low light. This one seems random until you understand the mechanism. Your ability to see in low light depends on rod cell function in your retina. Rod cells depend on adequate vitamin A, adequate blood flow to the eye, and adequate mitochondrial function in the photoreceptor cells. When night vision degrades, it's one of the earliest signs of micronutrient deficiency, vascular decline, and mitochondrial aging. A man over 60 with healthy night vision can move around a dimly lit room without bumping into furniture. He can read text on a screen at lower brightness without squinting excessively. He can see detail in shadows. Most men your age have lost this. They night drive poorly. They struggle to see in restaurants. They squint at phones. This isn't normal aging. It's accelerated aging with specific nutritional and metabolic causes. Night vision improvement requires vitamin A, preferably in the retinol form from animal sources, not beta-carotene. Beef liver once per week is optimal. Omega-3 fatty acids for retinal health and vascular function. Blood flow optimization. Aerobic training that sustains elevated heart rate for 20 to 30 minutes, 3 times per week, improves capillary density and oxygen delivery to the eye. Most men neglect this. They assume bad night vision is age. It's not. It's neglect. Here's where this gets personal. Most men hit 60 and assume the decline is inevitable. It's not. But there's a specific window, and most men don't know it's closing. The window is right now. The men who are in the top 5% at 60 are the men who made decisions at 55. They didn't wait. They didn't rationalize. They measured. They responded. You're at a choice point. You can take your biological markers for granted. You can assume that what's happening is just aging. Or you can read your body's signals and adjust. The 5 markers I just gave you are measurable. You can test them this week. Grip strength, heart rate recovery, sitting rise test, morning erection frequency, night vision in a dimly lit room. That's it. 5 tests, 30 minutes maximum. You'll know exactly where you stand. You'll know if you're in the top 5% or if you're in the 70% that has already started the decline. The average man over 60 can do maybe 2 of these at a genuinely high level. Some can do 3. The men in the top 5% can do all 5. Not perfectly, but at a level that indicates systemic health, not decline. Here's what I want you to do this week. Pick the easiest marker for you. For most men, it's the sitting rise test because it requires almost no equipment. Practice it every day, 10 times, controlled, no pushing off with your hands. By the end of the week, you'll be stronger than you were. You'll feel it. That's how fast your nervous system can respond when you give it a stimulus. 1 week. That's the standard your body operates on. Not months, weeks. Most men your age have forgotten this. They think physical change takes years. It doesn't. Neurological adaptation happens in days. Strength adaptation happens in weeks. Once you establish the pattern, the momentum builds. I want to know where you stand. How many of these 5 can you do right now? Can you grip at 90 pounds? Can you recover your heart rate by 15 beats in the first minute? Can you stand from the floor without your hands? Do you have morning erections 4 or 5 times per week? Can you see clearly in low light? Drop your number in the comments. Not to brag, to establish baseline, to know where you're starting from. Because the men who comment, the men who track, the men who measure, are the same men who improve. That's just how human behavior works. Measurement creates awareness. Awareness creates behavior change. Next video, I'm going to show you the one mineral that almost every man over 60 is deficient in, and why that single deficiency is responsible for most of the decline you're feeling right now. It's not what you think. It's not magnesium, though most of you are low on that too. This one mineral controls sleep quality, recovery speed, sexual function, and bone density. Almost every man your age is depleted. And the fix is not supplementation. It's something much more specific. You're going to want to see this.